All right, go ahead, Steve.
All right, Ilima-Lei MacFarlane, it's Steve Jewin from MMA Mania, and it's good to talk to you again, champ. How are you doing today?
Hi, Steve. I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm excellent, and I'm really looking forward to this title defense against Valerie Letourneau, but not nearly as much as you must be, because how many times have we talked to each other about how great it would be to headline a card in Hawaii, and now you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I just want to get this over with already. I'm definitely feeling the pressure, as it draws near, but I'm also getting more excited. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, we talked about it before, and now it's finally here. Let's do it.
You're looking at Letourneau on paper, and you know a lot about her because you've seen her in both Bellator and UFC. How does this fight size up to you?
I think that this is the fight that I need at this point in my career. And what I mean by that is that I'm ready for this next level type of opponent. And so basically, I've only fought girls that have had the same experience as me, the same number of fights, or the same years of training. But Valerie is my first opponent who is a veteran of the sport, and she has twice as many fights as I do, and probably 20 plus years of experience. So this is, again, it's the next level fight for me, but I'm ready, and this is exactly the type of opponent that I want.
We saw that long experience that she has and many decades of combat fighting in the fight with Christina Williams, because even with Christina Williams' Muay Thai background, she had a hard time landing the strikes, and then when Letourneau went for the takedowns, she didn't have an answer.
Yeah, that was a really interesting fight to watch, and yeah, I mean, I guess one thing, whenever I think about, or whenever I get intimidated about the level of experience that Valerie has, I remember that Christina took the fight on last minute notice. I think she had 2 weeks notice. And that was her third professional fight. And she was still able to go toe to toe. Even though she lost that fight, Christina did amazing. And so I just remember, hey man, if Christina can go out there and do it and do the dance with Valerie, so can I. So yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm excited, and it's definitely gonna test myself against one of the world's best.
She showed a lot of heart in that fight. You've showed some heart in some tough, close fights too, including going almost the full 5 rounds with Emily Ducote when you won the title. So it's not to say you haven't faced some experienced fighters before, just not as experienced as Letourneau.
Yeah, exactly.
So with this fight being in Hawaii, as we've already mentioned, and you said you're kind of getting to the point where you want to get it over with, is it because the media attention and the family and friends at home are just kind of weighing on you a little bit?
It's kind of I just want to celebrate and party already and enjoy being home without any pressure or stress. So, I always do this after or before my fights. I actually always plan what I'm going to do after the fight. So I plan trips, I plan parties. So that's what I mean by I just want to get it over with, because I just want to relax and Kaina with my family back home.
Well, let me ask you this then. What's the first meal you're going to have after the fight's over? Because you're right there on home turf. You can't enjoy better food than that.
Oh my goodness, I know, right? Let's see. Well, I'm definitely going to have a beer as soon as I'm done fighting. Probably a beer and some creme brulee. That's my favorite. I definitely want some type of sugary dessert.
You'll have earned it. No question. It's funny because I hear all the fighters I've interviewed this week, they're all saying the same thing. They're like, man, I love the fact this isn't Hawaii. It's such great food. It's such great climate. I'm like, yeah, but you got to work. You still got to go fight.
Yeah. Afterwards, we can all go eat Hawaiian food and all that good stuff. But yeah, we got to take care of business first.
How has the camp treated you thus far, getting ready for another world title defense?
This camp was really good, actually. There wasn't any injuries. Probably the biggest difference was that my weight was really good. This camp was actually the lightest that I've ever walked around at. So that definitely was a really big stress off of my shoulder, because I know fight week is gonna, there's gonna be a lot more distractions, since I'm fighting back home. And so the fact that I don't have to worry about my weight, is really, really nice. And otherwise though, this camp was, it was good. Like I started implementing some new training techniques in that I'm really excited, and everything was good.
Did you at any point entertain any thoughts of bulking up or putting on some extra muscle, given that you know the size and strength that Letourneau has?
Not necessarily. Like, I know that she's taller and longer than me, but I've always felt really strong for our weight class. So I wasn't worried too much about putting on any size with her. But I do feel really strong, and like a lot of my teammates have been commenting that I look really ripped for this fight. So again, like I think like my body fat percentage went down, and I did put on muscle unintentionally for this camp. So yeah, that's nice, but it wasn't a focus. It was just kind of like a byproduct.
That's a little bit scary actually when you say you're really ripped for this fight, because I've never seen you not look ripped.
Well, I always say I'm skinny fat. So I think like the fact that I was, I call myself a former fat girl. I used to be 175. So I've always had this like extra layer of fat, even though I'm 125 now. I fight at 25. I still, have a little soft layer of fat around me. But yeah, that little layer of fat kind of went down a little bit. So that's kind of nice. I really like the way I look right now and the way I feel. And I'm excited to see how it translates into the fight.
Well, if you say that you're even more shredded, I'll take your word, but I never noticed the fat before now, and I'm not just saying that. I think anybody who's watched you would say, wow.
Awesome, thank you. Team no abs, that's what I say. Hashtag team no abs. Well, I never have abs.
Have you ever worried about the fact that among some, let's call them juvenile MMA fans, that they would focus more on whether or not you have abs and whether or not you have any body fat, because those things really don't make a difference in the fight at the end of the day?
They don't. And, I've always had this theory that my cardio is really good. Or, I'm able to go into the later rounds because I have a little energy reserve. A lot of times if you watch fighters who are super ripped or do have a lot of muscle, it's harder for them to oxygenate them, as the fight goes on. So, I appreciate that I do have a little beer belly, going into my fight, because I think it helps me.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, because, well, not that you have a beer belly, but about the fighters who are too muscular gassing out, because I think of Alistair Overeem, I think of Derek Lewis, and immediately I think, beyond the first round, they're in trouble.
Exactly, I totally agree.
So, lean and ripped, but not necessarily overly muscular. That's definitely the way to be. And you've already proven you can go 5 rounds, so I don't think cardio is any question for anybody.
Yeah, and for that, I'm super grateful that it did go. I mean, obviously, I always want to try to finish the fight as fast as possible. Like, it's not that fun to get punched in the face for 5 rounds, but I'm glad it happened, because it showed me, like, yeah, I can do it, no problem.
Well, I know you don't want to get punched in the face, but what about being kicked in the face? Because, again, I got to go back to Valerie Letourneau being so tall, and she can use those kicks pretty well.
Oh, yeah. So that was one thing that my camp prepared me for, was her kicks, because especially in my when I won the belt against Emily, really the only thing that she got through were low leg kicks. And so, if I were a coach on Valerie's team, I would see that is a weak link in my game. So we prepared for that, defending kicks, countering kicks, being able to work off of it. But I also am not sure if she's really going to employ that technique, for the fact that I'm also a wrestler, and if it hits the ground, it's my game. So she might not want me to catch those kicks.
No.
But we're prepared for them regardless.
Yeah, and she definitely doesn't want you taking the back, because we've seen what you do in that position, and fighters don't last long.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, again, it's kind of like a wild card fight. We don't really know what's going to happen or, like, you know, if she's even going to kick me, but I guess we'll find out in 12 days.
Yeah, we'll find out very soon, but it's going to be a very fun card overall because we've also got Neiman Gracie and Ed Ruth in a welterweight Grand Prix bout, Lyoto Machida making his Bellator debut against Rafael Cavallo. I mean, it's just an outstanding card all around.
Oh, yeah, I'm so thrilled. And, you know, even with the prelim fight, too, like I said, all the local fighters, those are going to be battles. And any one of those prelim fights could have very well have been on the main card. So, yeah, the whole entire card is spectacular. And I'm very, very honored that they decided that Valerie and I were going to be the headliners.
Would you have preferred, though, to have been the headliner of the Salute the Troops card the night before?
No, not really. I mean, that would have been really awesome too. But I'm stoked that I'm on the Saturday card because that's the one that's open to the public. You know, that everybody can go to. I know that the Friday card, I think they do have some available to the general public. But I mean, my family alone on the first day bought like 300 tickets. So I'm not sure if they would have got any tickets to the Friday card. So I'm really pumped that I'm on the Saturday one.
Well, then everything has worked out exactly the way it's supposed to. It's the right place, the right date, the right time, and it's your chance to finally show everybody on home soil just what Ilima-Lei MacFarlane is all about.
Yeah, let's do this.
Absolutely. Ilima-Lei, I always appreciate the time. I want you to give any plugs, sponsors, teammates you want to mention. Please go ahead.
Of course. I mean, number one, thanks to my awesome team and gym, 10th Planet San Diego, the Freaks, and my team Hurricane Awesome, MMA teammates. Like, I couldn't do it without them. And so they all know who they are. Thank you guys so much. To my incredible sponsors who, you know, it's amazing. A lot of them are coming into Hawaii. They're flying in for this fight. So that just shows the type of relationship we have, the type of support they give me. That's ambassadors with Aloha in a Poi Company, TC1 Gel, SoCal Fresh Meal Prep, and Eco Sciences. Those are all my main dudes. And last but not least, thank you to Hawaii. Like, they have been so incredibly supportive. They even made a bus for me. I'm literally on the side of a bus. I don't know if you saw on my social media, but my face is on a bus right now that's going to be shuttling people to the fight. So, you know, that's just a little snippet of the support that they've shown me up until now. So I'm so excited to fight for them and represent them.
That is fantastic, and we're all excited to see the fight as well. So it's the main event, Valerie Letourneau challenging Ilima-Lei MacFarlane for the flyweight title, and it's going to be awesome at Bellator 213. Thank you, Ilima-Lei, and have a great fight.
Thanks, Steven. Talk to you later.
Yep, thank you, Dan, as well.
Thanks, Steve.